My mother-in-law's birthday blow-up. The secret recordings exposed. I never imagined a simple birthday celebration could unravel a web of deceit and end in a dramatic showdown. But that's exactly what happened. It all started innocently enough, or so I thought, with my mother-in-law's barbed words about my cooking. But little did I know that this was just the tip of the iceberg. My mother-in-law said my cooking was awful, and then it tasted even worse. Then my father-in-law asked, "Is that all you have to say?" After that, everything spiraled out of control. I'm Sarah, 35 years old, and married to Michael. Together, we have a delightful 5-year-old daughter. However, despite the joy of our family life, there was always a shadow looming in the form of my mother-in-law's disapproval. Every holiday visit, be it New Year's or Memorial Day, often in the absence of my husband, was filled with subtle digs and not so subtle insults. "I wish I looked younger," she'd sigh pointedly. Or, "Do I really look that old?" And then, the zinger, "Yes, very much so. Haven't you noticed your own reflection in the mirror every day? Receiving criticism about one's appearance can be deeply hurtful." Despite this, I tried to brush it off, considering our limited interactions occurring only a few times a year. However, instead of diffusing the situation, she'd escalate. "You have a remarkably thick skin for a woman of your age," she'd sneer. "It's irritating how you remain unaffected by my words. Do you lack even a trace of humility?" I constantly wondered how I should confront my mother-in-law. In front of my husband, she wore a facade of kindness, and I feared that I'd be blamed for causing drama. So, I've endured it. Visiting their home with her presence feels like carrying a heavy burden. Despite this, it was a significant occasion, with numerous relatives gathering for the grand event, my father-in-law's 60th birthday. Though my father-in-law is reserved, he did gently approach me once and say, "Sarah, if you're struggling, please don't hesitate to confide in me. I'd like to offer my support if that's alright with you." I couldn't help but wonder if my father-in-law was aware of the harassment I endured from my mother-in-law. Perhaps he chose to refrain from openly supporting me to shield me from further mistreatment behind the scenes. Our family embarked on a 3-hour journey early in the morning to reach our in-laws' home. Feeling a bit under the weather with a low-grade fever and lingering fatigue, I entrusted the driving to my husband, Michael. Upon arrival, my mother-in-law emerged from the front door with an air of cheerfulness. Well, look who's here. It's been a while. Michael, oh dear, you look exhausted. You've clearly put in a lot of effort. I'll prepare the bed right away. Why don't you go rest in the back room? That sounds like a plan, Michael replied. Sarah, you should rest too. You've been tending to our child in the car. You must be exhausted. Plus, you don't seem well. Then my mother-in-law intervened. Michael, you didn't know I spoke with Sarah yesterday, and we arranged to go shopping for the 60th birthday celebration. Sarah, you go once you've placed the luggage at the entrance. Of course, I felt drained. Since Sarah isn't feeling well, let her rest. You can handle the shopping. I want to pick out the finest ingredients with Sarah. After dropping off the luggage, I was met with an intense glare. You don't need rest right now. Thank you for driving. I really appreciate it, she said with forced sincerity. I found myself settling into the driver's seat. I'm feeling alright, Michael. Do you take a break? All the better. My mother-in-law is here for shopping. Shutting the door firmly, she added, taking care of the child is a mother's responsibility. Well then, Michael, we're off. As she settled into the passenger seat, her saccharine sweetness vanished, replaced by a harsh tone as she began to chastise me. So, you can't even manage to care for your own child. You're nothing but an incompetent daughter-in-law, aging before your time. What was truly unsettling was her ability to maintain a sugary facade, while my husband remained completely oblivious. Predictably, my mother-in-law wasted no time before launching into a lecture. Please refrain from such ominous remarks. I've been battling fever and fatigue since this morning. Your poor health stems from your lack of discipline. Those cheek spots darken your skin, which has lost its former vitality. She criticized relentlessly, draining me of all energy to counter her harsh words. This is utterly exhausting. How do daughters-in-law worldwide endure such treatment from their mothers-in-law? My spirited mother-in-law sprang out of the car without a word of gratitude, immediately forcing two shopping carts into my hands. Move faster. You're so slow. Attempting to steer clear of the bustling crowds, I began filling the carts with extravagant items like USDA prime beef, salmon roe, and melons. She then proceeded to toss in unnecessary items. Mother-in-law, do we really need all of this right now? I dared to ask. I've already decided. You should have known that without my having to tell you. Feeling utterly helpless, I allowed her to dictate the shopping list. By the time we finished, the carts were overflowing. Move quickly now. Despite her haste, when it was time to settle the bill at the checkout counter, she froze. Mother-in-law, she kept her hands folded behind her back, unmoving. When I pressed her again for the money, she shot me an angry glare. You should foot the bill for everything. Excuse me, as a wife, it's your responsibility to cater to your husband's family. Don't be miserly. Just pay up. Reluctantly, I ended up covering the entire bill at the register. With no cash on hand, I had to charge it to my credit card. As a part-time worker trying to support my child, this financial blow hit hard. What made matters worse was that I had bought $300 as a birthday gift for my father-in-law's 60th birthday. But now I couldn't use it. This expense meant tightening our belts even further in the future. I wonder how I'll break this news to Michael. If I were to speak up about this treatment, would I even be believed? Showing an impressive array of verbal attacks. Upon her arrival home, she immediately barked orders. Just go eat in the garden immediately. Can I please have a moment to rest? I pleaded. You have no right to defy your mother-in-law. This is the consequence of letting Michael drive alone. You brought this upon yourself. If you have time to argue, then you have time to work. Hurry up. We're running out of time. After you've eaten, clean the bathroom and the toilet. Despite the injustice of the situation, I had no option but to endure it, pulling out weeds before tackling the grime and yellow stains in the bathroom and toilet. As I worked, just as I finished cleaning, my husband stirred from his slumber. Sarah, are you alright? If you're not feeling well, don't push yourself too hard. Take a break. Thank you. I'll take you up on that, I said, feeling a surge of relief. But before I could finally rest, my mother-in-law reappeared, despite her earlier vocality, clutching her back in apparent excruciating pain. I can't manage anything. My chronic back issues have flared up once more. I won't be able to prepare the food before our relatives arrive. Sarah, you're my only hope. What am I to do? While her distressed demeanor seemed somewhat contrived, if her chronic back pain was genuine, I couldn't refuse. Sarah, are you certain you're alright? Michael asked, his brow furrowed with concern. I'm fine. Cooking is my usual responsibility. Remember, I maintained a facade of strength for my husband. However, it was a significant day for my father-in-law, and I felt compelled to soldier on. My head is spinning. After completing the cooking, my father-in-law entered the kitchen to check on me. Thank you for preparing all this food. It's my pleasure. It's all for you. Please enjoy it later, I said with a weary smile. As the relatives began to gather, each offering more wishes to my father-in-law, the atmosphere became animated. After the toasts were made, and we were on the verge of starting the meal, my mother-in-law made a shocking announcement. I regret to inform everyone that due to my chronic back pain acting up on this important birthday celebration, all the food was prepared by my daughter-in-law, Sarah. Both my father-in-law and husband were stunned into silence by my mother-in-law's sudden revelation. Not only is my daughter-in-law unattractive, she continued, her voice drooping with venom. It's truly a shame. She's quite clumsy. Without my assistance, I even questioned her ability to care for her own child. I worry whether Michael can cope with such a wife. What should have been a joyous occasion swiftly descended into a somber atmosphere, reminiscent more of a funeral than a celebration. My typically supportive husband, who should have been caring for our daughter, was conspicuously absent. Then, in a moment that shattered the tension, my father-in-law, who had been silently observing, demanded, "Is that all you have to say?" His voice cutting through the tension. "Seems like it," my mother-in-law replied, a faint smile hinting at satisfaction. "Sarah, it appears you're being shown the door," she added, with mocking sweetness. In a shocking turn of events, my husband handed a suitcase to her. Then, my father-in-law's booming voice delivered the final blow. "Take that and leave this house immediately." Despite her initial confusion, my mother-in-law swiftly grasped the gravity of the situation. "Why am I the one being asked to leave?" she protested. "The bathroom is always covered in mold. And let's not forget how terribly you've treated her. I've had my fill. It's a mother-in-law's responsibility to guide her daughter-in-law. I was merely pointing out her flaws." "Yes, please," my father-in-law retorted sarcastically. "Do you think we're living in an alternate reality that I have lost all sense?" Realizing she wouldn't garner any sympathy from him, my mother-in-law resorted to her usual tricks. "Michael, don't get the wrong idea. Sarah, that's a joke. I won't be fooled by you anymore. You've been mistreating Sarah all along. Even today, despite feeling unwell, she still came to celebrate Dad's 60th birthday. Sarah volunteered to join the celebration, didn't she? And you made her foot the bill for the groceries, didn't you?" my husband exclaimed, finally standing up for me. "I just asked her to pay because I didn't have any cash on me. I was planning to reimburse her later," she insisted, her voice rising in indignation. "Honestly, really, if I hadn't noticed, I've ignored the typical mother-in-law and daughter-in-law conflict for far too long. I'm tired of living with such a spiteful old woman." Witnessing my husband and father-in-law turn away from her, my mother-in-law reverted to her usual tricks, blaming me with all her usual dramatic flair, tears streaming down her face. "No, I haven't vocalized it, but it's undeniable that you've been mistreating me," she wailed. "For the sake of my father-in-law and my husband, I refuse to let my mother-in-law continue to dictate the narrative." "That's correct," I interjected, my voice trembling but firm. "We were informed by Mia. We're aware of the derogatory remarks you made about Sarah at the supermarket and in the car after. Yeah, Grandma was mean to Mummy, Our daughter piped up. She cleaned lots of things. You can't just dismiss a child's words. Maya doesn't lie. My husband stated. Let's review the dash cam footage. That should clarify everything, I suggested, my heart pounding with nervous anticipation. Excellent suggestion, Sarah. I'll do that right away. My father-in-law agreed, ignoring his mother's protests. Starting the engine and pulling up the dash cam footage, he revealed the shocking truth. The latest model, including facial expressions. It's all there. The room fell silent as the evidence played out. She said those things. Michael whispered, his face a mask of disbelief. This is utterly unacceptable, unbelievable. Meanwhile, my mother-in-law, who had remained inside the house, tried desperately to stop the proceedings. Stop this immediately. Don't. With all her transgressions laid bare, my mother-in-law stood speechless. That's when my father-in-law casually handed her a single piece of paper. I filled out my part. You just need to complete yours and submit it, he said with chilling calm. Is this a divorce form? She gasped. I had to prepare it just in case. I never imagined I'd have to use it. Never darken my doorstep again. Wait, I promised to change, she pleaded, her voice laced with desperation. Promises won't suffice. Turning to me, she continued, Sarah, please find it in your heart to forgive me, tears streaming down her face. She was a pitiful sight, but I suspected it might be yet another performance. With resolve, I gently pushed her away. You've revealed your true colors, and I know you will keep up the mistreatment of your daughter-in-law. I can never forgive you. It's best to leave before the neighbors become involved. Oh no, this is dreadful, she cried. The commotion caught the attention of neighbors who observed from a distance. I guess she was still not willing to create a scene. Miraculously recovering from her supposed back pain, she clutched the divorce papers and her suitcase and dashed out of the garden. Remorse? I doubt it. I apologize for all this disruption during your 60th birthday celebration, Dad, I said sincerely, bracing for his response. Sarah, you bear no blame. I'm the one who should apologize for all the trouble we've caused. Let's put this behind us and start anew. A smile graced my father-in-law's face. The relatives, initially stunned by the drama, eventually returned to the celebration. Later, they commended the dishes I had prepared and enjoyed them with gusto. At that moment, it felt like we commemorated my father-in-law's 60th birthday in grand style. Despite her initial reluctance, my mother-in-law eventually agreed to the divorce, and they concluded amicably. It also came to light that she had been embezzling funds from my father-in-law's account, struggling to secure employment due to her lack of experience. With little money remaining, she resides in a dilapidated apartment that has seen better days. Meanwhile, I discovered that I was pregnant with my second child. The discomfort I had experienced earlier was attributed to my pregnancy, and my husband, Michael, has been incredibly supportive. Our ultrasound revealed that we are expecting a baby boy. Both Michael and my father-in-law eagerly anticipate his arrival. My father-in-law even sent over a selection of blue baby clothes, and our darling daughter is thrilled at the prospect of having a younger brother. Witnessing her enthusiasm fills me with boundless joy, considering everything that happened at my father-in-law's birthday celebration. Do you think I handled the situation correctly? I am still reeling from the shock of my mother-in-law's behavior and the subsequent fallout, and I value your honest opinions on whether I could have done anything differently. If my husband was right in what he did, or if my father-in-law took it too far, feel free to share your thoughts and perspectives, because every opinion is welcome.